Hey guys, Ron Musgrave's Pressure Washing Institute. Just want to do a little bit of a recap and then kind of a starter cap. I got Caleb Roth here. He needs no introduction, man. He's the stain and sealing wood experts, Stain and Sealing University. He has the biggest and largest wood show that goes on every February in Nashville. This year it's going to be on the 24th and 25th again, Caleb.
Yes. No, it is not. It is moved. I think it's earlier in the month.
It's going to be earlier in the month. Go to nationalcleaningexpo.com. When the dates are up, we'll have them up. But it's always going to be in February, guys. It's going to be one heck of a show, as it always. He's had anywhere from 200 to 300, 400 guys show up at this thing. But here's the coolest thing. Yesterday at Washmart, guys, at Washmart, our washers, Marco Ramondo, they did a little bit of a boot camp training, and you can see the beautiful work. This up here is actually the work they did. Caleb, you can see, is way up there in the distance there. Is that Michael there actually doing the spraying?
Yeah, he's spraying there. We actually, everybody got to spray. It was a really good show because this was a real job site.
And they were on a real job site. They stained a lot of fence. We're going to do something similar coming up at the TCHEM event next month, 20th and 21st. This is a free event. I brought this wood up here, guys, to show you. This is the type of training that you're going to receive. Come on over to the North Carolina event at TCHEM. Caleb and his crew. Who else coming out there with you, Caleb? Who else coming?
It'll be me. It'll be Bam Bam, and probably maybe even bring my wife, who is actually going to be really good to talk to some folks about just day-to-day behind-the-scenes operations, and no telling who else will come. We may surprise.
And I'll get to meet her, and I might bring mine too, because the kids are screaming to go to North Carolina. They want to go to North Carolina.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
So it might be a family affair. But look, guys, just get registered. This is free. It was free yesterday, right, Caleb? I mean, it was free.
Yeah, it was.
Did anybody charge anybody any money? Nobody believes this, that they can get this excellent, the best. It's the best hands-on training in the world, and it's absolutely free. You don't got to pay for it. How much better does it get that you actually get the guys that actually formulate and make the stain? There he is right there. And he mixes it. He's got a big plant there in Nashville. And then he's been in this business. I'm just going to do this recap. You're second generation, right?
Second generation fencing industry, and then
we're going to have a third generation who's Joe Everest, third generation fencing expert coming out, social media rock star. Caleb and him are very good close friends. That obviously they have the passion they have for fencing. Caleb does everything, though. He'll do log homes, he'll do decks, but you are particular to fence, correct? I mean, that's your baby.
I would say I like fences best, but I would say we probably do, Mandy, ratio fences to decks that we do. We do more decks than fences right now.
More decks than fences. There you go. You know what? I didn't get to say. I didn't get to tell Joe this, right? So when you think about my industry, and wrap your head around this one, right? So my industry is so vast, right? You got fleets, you got kitchen exhaust systems, you got all kinds of other trades, right? But everywhere there's a fleet, there's concrete. Everywhere there's a hood cleaning, there's concrete. Everywhere there's this, there's concrete. You really want to know the truth? Mm-hmm. What house doesn't have a fence, right? If you're going there to do a wood deck, likely they have a fence. If you're going there to do a log home, likely they have a fence. I mean, it's kind of like the common denominator in my industry, where I always tell people I'm the sidewalk cleaning guy. People go, sidewalk cleaning? Who cleans sidewalks? People don't realize concrete is everywhere. Guess what? Fences are everywhere. Everybody has a fence. Even if they don't have a wood deck, likelihood of the ratio is probably 3/4 of the people probably have a wood fence. Obviously block's another one, but regardless of that, they still got to be painted. They still got to be taken care of. So the fencing industry, man, big, huge industry. Guys, if you're out there, guys, watching, and I didn't really get a chance to promote this thing because we just came on live. I'm going to promote it afterwards. But Caleb's going to he'll stay tuned to these questions afterwards. Mm-hmm. If you guys got questions about coming out to these events, ask him. Tell him a little bit about what you think is going to go on at the TCHEM event and how similar it'll be to the Washmart event that you just did.
Well,
yesterday.
I'll tell you about Washmart. So Washmart, we did a job site here. You can see there's a house over here outside of the image. There's a hardy board house, and then over behind it is a metal building. It's a concrete pad. There's a swimming pool right over here behind the top of this tank that you can see in the background. So we had a real world job site, real world conditions, and did exactly what we would do on a real job site. So, which I think is important, because staying in a panel of wood in a parking lot of a hotel is one thing, but when you can get on a real job site, you can figure out, some real things that you can do, and it's better. So this went really well. There was a Winnebago camper probably 20 feet away from the backside of Bam Bam there. Showed everybody how to go to a job site and not leave with any problems or any headaches. So when we left this job, there was zero overspray, no issues. People loved it. It was great. And we didn't have to back brush any of this. We didn't have to mask the gate hinges. We didn't have to do any of these crazy things that you think of when you think of putting a coating on. So it's a whole lot of fun. And I think everybody there learned a whole lot. On the other side, we completely restored about a 25-year-old fence, and we actually made the old fence look just like the new one. So we learned how to restore it, and then we learned how to preserve it and stain and seal it. So really good class, and we're going to do the same thing over at in North Carolina.
Any new things on the horizon for the stain and sealing experts?
Man, we're considering doing an in-house class at our facility once a month, bringing in people doing a once a month free class similar to this. Considering that, just kind of wanting to put some feelers out there. There's probably a great platform to do it on. But that's it, man.
I believe that'll be huge, man. I think that I call it the Apple formula, but how Apple became so popular is, you walked into the Apple store and you saw the classroom right there. And they sat down and they said, man, we've got to show people how to use these phones, because it was new, right?
Mm-hmm.
2008, when technology was just being embraced with, digital phones were just coming out in 2008. Apple came on the scene, invented this phone. I don't know if you use Apple or not, and it doesn't matter if it's Android or Apple. You had to learn how to use the phone. And they knew that if they could teach you how to use the phone, you were going to be hooked. And here's the reality of it. As corporate America now, Caleb's a stain manufacturer out there, and what he wants to do is turn more guys into stainers, guys into the staining professionals. You want to be staining experts. That's the word we want to use. He wants to create more staining experts in the industry. It's no secret. He wants to sell them stain, but he also will tell you stories of how this has provided for him and blessed him and treated his family very well. It's a lot of hard. It's not easy work. It's hard work. But tell them a little bit about your history. I love when you tell the story about when your father gave you the company. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Had to buy the old man out. But yeah, so here's one thing that separates us from a lot of people and that do training or manufacturers, is that we actually have a service business, and our service business is where we got our start. But every day we have crews out doing this. So we understand what it's like to own or operate it, because I used to own or operate it. And then now I understand what it's like to have crews and to be constantly training and nurturing and mentoring new team members. So we've kind of looked at it from both perspectives. So I think it's a good perspective that we have, because we know the ins and outs of the business. We know how these things work. We know what it's actually like. We know what in-field experience is. Where a lot of manufacturers, they just don't have that advantage. So we get a great advantage there, and just love sharing it with you, because just like you said, stain business has been good to me and my family. I think it can be good to everybody. So, and it's like, I don't know, $100 billion industry. So why wouldn't we share the love and let everybody get in and be a part of it?
100 billion.
I mean, it's crazy. I'll put it to you like
crazy.
this.
No, it's crazy.
So there's a book called Coatings World, and the top 100 companies were listed in it. The top 3 were over 15 billion each. You had PPG, Sherwin-Williams, and ASCO Nobel. The 100th on the list was over 100 million. So isn't that crazy, man? When I saw that, I thought, wow, this is insane. So it's just a huge, that's all coatings, but it's a huge industry. And the crazy thing is, it's just like power washing. I think the more power washers come to town, to a big city, the cleaner things get, the more cleaning is done. The same with the wood. The more guys that start staining, the more people start seeing it and wanting it done at their place too. So we just want to grow the industry as big as we can.
We finally got an audience now. We're about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey guys, if you're listening, you listen to this video and you didn't catch it live, I'll make this offer good. If you catch this video and it's not live, this offer is still good. I'm going to throw in my commercial quote sheet for shopping centers. Whoever asks Caleb the question on this feed, he'll even be answering these questions because I'm going to tag him in here. And if you want that quote sheet, all you got to do is tell me that you asked a question, message my inbox, and I will give you the link to download it, guys. So there's a little thing for you if you want to take advantage of that. Go ahead and take advantage of that. Caleb don't have much time here. He told me he had to get off in 8 minutes. So if you guys got questions, ask away. But I want to remind you guys right now of two things. I'm going to give away a couple of these just for the heck of it today. And then I'm going to go ahead on Tech Tuesday, every Tech Tuesday, this book is going to be given away. If you share this feed, like this feed, ask a question, you will be stuck in this fishbowl right here in order to win that $200 cookbook on Tech Tuesday. So guys, ask away. And I want to tell you one last thing, one last infomercial. The PWNA is giving everybody a subscription to Cleaner Times, pwna.org. Sign up with them. Don't forget the Power Clean event. It will be the biggest event of the year. And of course, sign up free. We're all talking here about the TCHEM event. There's right now about 120 companies that are signed up, which means that translates to about 200 guys showing up. But get registered and get signed up because Nikki and Brad and Jonathan, they need to know how many's coming because they need to know how much space and how much room they need, how many food trucks they got to get, where we're going to have the socials, things like that, because it's going to be probably a big event, guys. So the sooner you get signed up, everybody always waits till the last week, 10 days. Don't do it. Just sign up right now. We'll get you on the list, get your badges made, and then all the other cool things that are going to happen there, like the training that Caleb's going to do. Joe Everest, man, I'm going to tell you, I gotta take a minute and talk about Joe. Joe changed some things. I heard him in Atlanta in 2021 at the Young Guns event, and he really opened my eyes to the social media game, as well as I know he's opened Caleb's eyes, because Caleb's completely changed his social media game. And I mean, both these two guys have really taken the social media thing to the next level, and you really got to listen to Joe and understand what he's doing and how he does it, because he opened my eyes to doing it a little bit differently and a little bit of some other techniques, and it really changed a lot of things. Tell me some of the things that Joe, the top thing you think that changed for you that you saw Joe do.
Joe follows. He and I both read a book called Marcus Sheridan called "They Ask You Answer," I believe is the name of it, and basically find out the questions that your audience or your customer, your ideal customer, is asking, and answer those questions in videos. Find out the questions that your front desk gets every day. Whoever answers your phones, what are the top 10 questions they get? Answer those questions. Put it in video form. Put it in written blog form. And those are the things. Those are simple things you can do to drive a lot of traffic your way and save time. Somebody calls and asks a question.
Pete always wants to ask a question. He's been doing it since he was born, man. His dad, he's second generation. So like me, entrepreneur, I'm actually third generation entrepreneur, because my grandfather was an entrepreneur. My parents were entrepreneurs. And I'm going to tell you right now, I remember working the cash register when I was 7 in my mom's gift shop. I remember working in the warehouse, sweeping the floors, probably at the age of 5 and 6, because I liked to push the broom around, because it was fun just to push the broom around. But I mean, when you grow up in that household where you never had a job, because I mean, you've never had a job, right?
I was a fireman for about 5 years, fire and EMT.
He was a fireman for 5 years,
and I did that.
But
I was full time in the
still
business.
Stayed, and you still stayed. Yeah. So you were one of the biggest part timers in the industry at that time.
I was full time in the industry, but part time fireman.
Right?
Because you could do that at night and the weekends and stuff. So
Well, I never had a job, so
My dad made me get a job for about a year, right when I turned 18. I said, I'm coming full time. He said, not before you go to work for somebody else. So went to work for somebody else for 6 months, maybe a year, then came back
I
to the family
work for
business.
I work for free a lot.
Hey, I was 40
that's how
bucks a day, man. I made 40 bucks.
that's
I drove 45 minutes,
that's how family business
40
that's
bucks
how
a day.
family businesses work, right? You work
Yep.
for free a lot.
No,
Now this
I
David,
always got,
I can't let Caleb answer this, man. They're excellent products, man, with an excellent company and people, man, that are really they're really, really good folks. That's why I hang out with Caleb. They're just really good people. Him and his wife. Is it just you and the wife that run the company now, or is it there's some other family members that run the company? It's just you and the
um,
wife, right?
well, my wife and I own the
I know you
company.
got a crew. I know you got
Yeah,
a
I mean,
crew.
we've got managers for all those departments, but
Yeah,
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 we got a great team. We
yeah.
couldn't do it without our whole team. We got a really, like, Bam Bam. He's our operations manager. He actually runs the plant, and Mandy, she's our service manager. She
And I
runs the
gotta
service side.
ask how Bam Bam got his name, but don't you tell me now. I'll ask him when I see him.
He used to
Because
carry
you
around a
gotta.
big stick, man.
That's what they call him, Bam.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they say. When he was a little kid, he
Uh,
carried around a big stick, just like Bam Bam. So
well,
that's
you
why.
got 3 minutes, Caleb. What do you want to say to these guys about the TCHEM event? You want to get them to get out there and get going, make them register.
Well, yeah, you should do it, because bring your team and come and be around people who are doing things that you want to do. So if you want to be a great basketball player, you go learn from a great coach. If you want to be a great wrestler, you go wrestle with somebody who's a state champion. If you want to get better in business, go find state champions in business and hang out with those guys, because most of them have a giving heart and they will share with you all the lessons they learned along the way, because it caused pain and they don't want others to feel the same pain they felt. So if you can go get yourself and your team around a bunch of guys like that, it will shave a lot of years off your learning curve and take you to places that might have taken you a lot longer to get there before. So
All the stupid things you learn, like you can't work on 19 different projects at once.
yeah, that's true.
That
I mean,
results in 0 of them getting done.
yeah, I mean,
That's what
so the wealthiest people in the world, the richest people, the fastest growing people in the world, they all invest in one thing, and that's themselves. So you acquire as many skills as you can get, and then you'll get to a place where
I
maybe.
think this is Nikki. She wants you to answer
Yeah,
that
tell them
question.
why they should come. Yeah, even if you aren't newbies, come, because there's going to be guys there who've been doing it for 30 or 40 years, either staining or just in business in general. So I go to these events so I can learn from Ron and take that over into my staining service business. And I go meet Joe. Same reason. I mean, you get around other people to figure out what works, and we all go together. When we collaborate, industries just rise so much faster. So I think the day
Everybody
of.
always asks you who your most influential people were, and I gotta say my parents, and then there's like maybe 10. There's no one person, like you said.
Hmm,
There's
hmm.
there's maybe like 10 people that all told you at some point in time some key things. And I keep reiterating this. People are hearing this all the time. I'm going to keep telling them the biggest reason to mentor someone or seek out a mentor, the biggest reason is that when you mentor others, you stay sharp. Not only do you stay sharp, but if you're mentoring many people, you learn from them.
Hmm.
But you've got to be coachable no matter how long you've been in business or how much you think. There's that little thing, that cliche that people say, well, if you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you're probably dead, because you've got to go in, you got to come to this event willing to learn, willing to accept the fact that maybe somebody's doing something better, and know and understand. One of the biggest things that somebody told me was to know and understand my weaknesses and find team members that could do those things you can't do or don't want to do. I found out early on there was lots of things I couldn't stand. And this is a real quick story. We had a gal that we put on the phones, right? We put her on the phones. We trained her. And this was a time period when electronic recording phones came in, because we didn't know what they were saying on the phones way back in the 1900s, right? You know, you didn't listen to people on the phone. Well, then we started listening to it, and she was just, you could just tell she hated being on the phone. Well, we sat her down and found out what's going on. I hate being on the phone. What do we have this person calling on the phone for? But you know what the dumbest thing was? She loved, we used to have envelope stuffing parties, and she loved to stuff envelopes. And we never had to have an envelope stuffing party after that, because she would always keep the envelopes stuffed in advance that we needed to mail out. And it was a wonderful thing. And that's another lesson, learning people's talents, right? Isn't it crazy? You ever were going to get rid of somebody and then you found out they possessed a talent that you needed?
Yeah,
Because
we do personality assessments for that, and you really can figure out, hey, this person is actually a terrible operations person, but a salesperson, they're perfect at it because they're super dominant and super, you know, outgoing. So yeah, I agree.
we had a guy that couldn't see, but he'd show up, hard worker, but he was really blind. He was legally blind. So cleaning, that's not a good thing, right? Because you can't see the dirt. He would miss gum on the sidewalk, and we would be like, Ben, what's going on, man? And we really, then he's like, basically told us he's blind. And then we're like, what are we going to do with this guy? And we found out by his application that he had worked this IT job prior to coming with us. And we said, why'd you quit the IT job? Did you hate the IT? He was like, no, I loved it, man, but I couldn't stand the people I was working for, you know? So we implemented him right into that position, and bam, I mean, he was a rock star in that position, and excelled and took it to the next level and helped the company grow even more. And, you know, we didn't have to get rid of him because he was really a good guy. I mean, he was, you know, he was that guy that always was there. You know, he was loyal. It was all the stuff you want to possess. The guy who can listen to instructions, raised right. I mean, these are the things that, you know, you want to look for in employees. But that listening, instruction, and self-managing themselves, man, those are the top three things: self-managing themselves, raised right, and can follow directions. You get somebody that can do that, you got somebody you can work with.
Yep. And I think if you bring your team members to these types of events, I think a lot of companies, you know, the owners go to things. Some companies, traditionally, the owners will go. They'll leave their teammates behind because they're worried that they're going to figure something out and maybe leave them. They'll start their own business or whatever. But I think the thing that happens is when you bring your team to an event, they become part of a community, and they realize, hey, I'm not the only power washer. I'm not the only sidewalk cleaner. I'm not the only fleet washer. I'm not the only wood restoration guy. In town, there's actually a lot of us, and they're having the same struggles I am, and they become part of a community, and they'll actually become better. They'll strive to improve because their colleagues in the industry are improving. So I think the number one thing you can do.
We shot over 3 minutes.
It's all right,
PWNA. Well, it's your 3 minutes I'm worried about. You're the one that's maybe on a date night tonight. I don't know.
And we're good to go.
Gone.
Yeah, we're
been
good
gone
to go
for a couple of days. PWNA guys will give you one of those. Inbox me if you haven't got one of these. I'm going to give the first two guys that inbox me for that. And do me a favor, guys. I'm giving 5 guys away T-shirts, guys, on this thing that just see this and inbox me. But it's the first 5 guys. If you want a Pressure Washing Institute T-shirt, inbox me. The first 5 are going to get it. And here we go, guys. Tech Tuesday, I'm giving away a $200 cookbook. Jiggy won it last week. Hopefully you guys, we're going to have some shirts, by the way. First 25, or did I say 25 or 50? I'm not positive. First 25 guys that register for the TCHEM event and put their size in. So you'd have to see me saying you get a shirt. Not the first 25 guys that register, but the first guys that register where it says put your shirt size in, say Ron said I get a shirt. You put that in there, you're going to get a shirt if you're one of the first 25 guys to register.
Ron,
remember, it's free
how
shirt.
How about I send you a box of these hats?
Give me a box of those hats. Send them to me, man. You know my address.
I got you.
You know my. I got to give you my address. You keep sending to that PO box. I got to get you my address.
No
you
worries.
sent it to the PO box, and I didn't get that awesome cheese box for about 6 weeks after I was supposed to get it.
Oh, okay. Well, there's cheese. Moldy cheese is good.
Man, I'll tell you right, it was good, but it was just wrong to, like, at that point to say, hey, I got a box. Thanks for the holiday gift, man.
No worries. Yeah,
It was like
just send it to me.
it was like in the Super Bowl, you know what I mean?
That's the
We
way it
we
goes.
ate it for the Super Bowl party gift. Guys, you guys got to get out here, man. We've got lots of great people. Pat Clark's going to be there. Brad Williams is going to be there. Like we mentioned, Joe Everest. These guys are rock stars in the industry. Bojo said he's coming. He's going to teach some spray techniques. He knows massive stuff about community management. He's going to be shedding some light on that. So there's going to be lots of teaching, guys. Go to nationalcleaningexpo.com and get registered. Caleb, take us out, man.
Come see Matt Warner. He's probably the most underrated guy at this event. Matt Warner has multiple companies, been doing it for over 30 years. And he, if you go to any of his companies, his employees treat you like gold. It's a phenomenal culture. And he was
scared to come on with me yesterday.
He's kind of the culture guy, man. So if you're trying to get a good culture in your business where you have a self-policing culture that comes together, they treat your customers right, and they always go the extra mile, you got to listen to what Matt Warner's got to say. He's one of my mentors, and dude, it's worth every penny to get in your car, put the gas in your tank, and get to this event.
Did you see my interview with him?
I didn't.
It was a good interview. At the very beginning of the interview, he was a little bit hesitant to come on. He was like, telling me, man, I don't even know if I want to do this. I was like, it's going to be okay, Matt.
Hey, this is new to him, man.
We're just two sales guys. After he got done, we were talking in the green room. He's all like, man, I'm glad I did it. That was awesome. Yeah, it was good. He just didn't know. We didn't really know a lot about each other. So we were learning as we were doing the interview, which was kind of cool because it actually brought a little bit of life to the interview. Like people like, hey, man, these guys are really doing this live. They don't know who, and it was like, because people think we rehearse this stuff. Have you and I ever rehearsed an interview?
Man, you messaged me about 5 minutes ago and said, hey, you want to go live? And I said, sure.
Yeah, so. Man, we go do it, man. And it happens, and we give out the golden nuggets, and that's how it is, man. You take us out, though. This is it. 30 seconds.
Man. I'm going to be live tomorrow morning. If you're not busy and you want to talk about this some more on the Stain and Seal show on all of my pages, but come to the TCHEM event. It's in North Carolina, one of the most beautiful states in the country. It is also one of the most what there's more power washers per capita there than anywhere else in the Carolinas. Big time, lots of experience there. So you get to see some really killer equipment and talk with some really awesome people. And remember, you get in there with a bunch of big ships, right? The rising tide raises all ships. So that's the whole idea. Get over here and learn, bring your team to it. TCHEM event. Where do you sign up, Ron?
NationalCleaningExpo.com. See you guys there, guys.
All right, man. Thanks.
Pressure washing